In what capacity?
Currently a lieutenant of the Major Crimes Bureau.
Okay, and how long have you been with the prosecutor's office?
Prosecutor's office since 2014.
Can you take us through your history with the prosecutor's office in terms of different units and assignments you've had?
So I was hired in December of 2014. I was assigned to the Major Crimes Bureau in Freehold. About a year and a half later, I was assigned to the Asbury Park Satellite Office of the Major Crimes Bureau, where I remained until 2022.
Okay, let's see here.
They also maintain communication with the victim's family, maintain the case file, coordinate efforts, resources, and then ultimately work alongside prosecutors for court judicial hearings.
Now, when you arrived on scene and Detective, I believe you said Zarillo was there, did you have the opportunity to speak with him?
I did.
Okay, and did he brief you on what had transpired prior to your arrival?
He did.
Did you learn of any victims on scene?
I did. I learned upon my arrival, Keith Canaro was still off to the northwest of the driveway, still on scene. And then the body of Sophia was moved at that point to the driveway.
Was anyone else located inside of the home?
I was aware that there was 2 additional bodies, Jesse and Jennifer, inside the residence.
How long were you on scene for that day?
I remained on scene till I believe it was approximately 7 p.m.
And what kinds of things were you doing on scene during that time?
At that point, obviously, the fire suppression activity was still ongoing. The Forensics Bureau for the Major Crimes Bureau for the prosecutor's office was still actively starting to process the scene, collect evidence. At that point, I made observations of what was going on, continued with ultimately the bodies being removed, medical examiner's arrival.
Now, is it fair to say there were numerous other law enforcement officers on scene?
Absolutely.
And were they doing different things?
Yes, during this time, different detectives were beginning to get assigned to do different things, such as collect video, surveillance, canvassing, that kind of thing.
Now, did you and Detective Zarillo essentially work this investigation cooperatively? In other words, together?
Yes, we did.
And did that occur for the next several weeks?
I think even further, yes.
Were there some things that you and he did together?
Yes.
And then were there other things that you did by yourself without necessarily Detective Zarillo present?
Yes.
We've already heard from Detective Zarillo, so I want to talk about the things that you did when Detective Zarillo wasn't necessarily with you, okay? Did you have an opportunity to review any Wise brand cameras during the course of your investigation of this case?
I did.
Specifically, did you have the opportunity to review Wise camera footage from the garage north wall shelf?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And how many times did you review that footage?
At this point, I've watched it many times. Paused, sped up, rewound. I've watched it many times.
Okay. And the particular time frame or timestamps of the footage that you watched, do you recall what that was?
I watched from 2:35 a.m. until 2:51 a.m.
I'm showing counsel S391. Oh, I'm sorry. Judge, may I approach?
You got it.
I'm showing you what's been marked as S391. Do you recognize this?
Yes, that's the Wise Cams garage north shelf.
Judge, this time you stated your permission to publish.
Ms. Maslin?
No questions. Can you just make sure the court's volume is all the way up? Thank you. Now, Detective, due to the length of this, I'm going to play it in full, but we may have to pause it a few times to ask you questions, or I may ask you questions while we're playing it, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Before I hit play, can you just tell us what timestamp is up here?
02:34:58 or 2:34 in the morning.
Okay, and just generally, what is this that we're looking at?
This is a view of the from the camera on the garage wall shelf, pointing at the garage door that was to the on the west side of the residence.
Now, what we're going to watch at 2:34:58, is that about a 16 or so minute clip?
Yes, ma'am.
Please tell me they caught Paul moving outside the house with the stupid motion light.
Now, this portion of the video, is this what you had indicated you watched previously multiple times?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you determine whether the timestamp on here was accurate?
I did.
How did you do that?
It was compared to known phone calls. There's other cameras that all went offline at the same time, at approximately 2:51. again, compared to known phone calls.
Okay, I'm gonna ask if we can now play the video. Can we pause it? I'm going to pause it at, it's about 2:35:47. Lieutenant, can you tell us what just happened?
A light illuminated above the garage door.
Now, because I don't want to pause this more than we need to, can you tell us, does that light illuminate or illumination occur several times during the course of this approximate 16-minute clip?
Yes, it does, several times.
Okay, we could continue.
Paul, I mean, the only thing you didn't do was take a Polaroid selfie and leave it at the scene. Dude.
Can you pause it? Detective, did you just see a silhouette appear?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you explain to us how that happens or what we're looking at?
It's paused now, it's grainy, but in the middle pane, you can follow, at some point, if you play it, you can see an arm, and then follow down from light to where it becomes dark.
Okay, so if we can just go back, I'll play it again to just before the silhouette comes on. Okay, so we're playing it at 2:35:39. And I'm going to ask if we could pause at 2:35:15.
I have no idea.
Lieutenant, did the silhouette appear to come from the right side of the screen to the middle of the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
And does the silhouette appear to leap upwards?
Yes, ma'am.
If you could continue. Pause it, please. And just for now, we're paused at 2:36:03. You could continue. You just go, I'm sorry, pause it for 1 minute. And if you could go back to 2:36:02.
She didn't want to say fluffy jump.
There, okay. I want to direct your attention to the area of that middle vertical frame of the garage door. Do you see that?
I do.
Paul, I can see your freaking bald spot right here, you ginormous jackass. And your beer gut. You are so... Why is this a trial? God.
Okay. Can you identify what you're seeing regarding any areas of light and dark coloring?
Again, starting from the middle of that center pane off to the right, the upper portion is light, and then if you follow it down to the, all the way down to the area where it becomes dark, more or less in the center.
And did you hear any noises during the portion that we just played?
I did.
What was that?
It was a banging noise.
Okay. We continue.
Okay, so
We're paused at 2:36:30. Did that?
I want you to pause. I'm pausing this real quick because I want to bring something else on screen. Now, this is what Keith looked like near around... God, you are so ugly anyway. But this is what Keith looked like. Now, I want you to notice something that's not on the top of his head. Oh, daggone. No offense, Mr. Keith, but the man is bald, all right? Now, who has full ass head of hair? Now, this is what Paul looked like before when he was caught. So this is exactly what my man Paul looked like when he was outside the door of the garage with his stupid bald spot. So again, brother, bald. Him, not bald. At this point, if I'm the defense attorney, I am just functionally drinking.
Silhouette appeared to leave the camera frame.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Specifically, did you note anything about that?
Off to the right side of the screen as we're looking at it, or the north side of the residence.
Okay. Before we resume, I want to ask you about the orientation of what's depicted in this video. Can you describe what's outside of that particular garage door?
Yeah, so this is the back side of the garage. In the front, there's it's three bay garage, and this most northern side has a garage door that opens up essentially on the back side of the house, so you can go all the way through. On the back side of this, or the west side of the house, is it opens up to a small paver patio.
Okay, let me find what I'm looking for here. So this is kind of what Keith and his entire family looked like. Now, generally, I don't try to put photos of families up, but this does give you an idea of kind of how large Keith was prior to his trial, but around the time that this all happened. Again, Paul, you should have taken a plea deal, you giant ignoramus. That is Paul, yes.
When you walk out of the garage,
No, that's
immediately to the
Paul.
right side is where the electrical panel is affixed to the house. If you go to the left side of the screen, or the south side, it is the paver walkway leads to where the house has a large whole house generator.
Showing counsel what's been marked as S407. I'm going to show you what's been marked as S407. Do you recognize that?
I do.
What is that?
This is a picture from the opposite side, or the outside of the house. So the orientation.
Just before you do that, I'm going to ask to publish, if we could.
Any objection?
No. I don't have it on the screen. I'm sorry. Okay, now can you orient us to what we're looking at?
So looking at it from the opposite side, in this particular case, the electrical panel is on the left side. And if you go to the right behind the row of shrubs or bushes, that's where the generator is located.
Thank you. I think we can resume.
No, I think we're listening to Paul fiddle with the electrical panel and the generator, because you can kind of see something moving sort of near where the generator is. No, actually, that wasn't Keith. That was uh, Paul. Paul claimed disability. For many years, he was getting, I think, Social Security and also had several disability benefits. He claimed that he could barely walk, that he had incredible amounts of pain, that he could, basically, his back was constantly seizing after this car accident he had, I think, in 2016. Now, they haven't been brought up in the course of this trial, but if you do watch that chapter, and he does a good deal of research, his video on the Canero case, there have been allegations made that basically Paul didn't take any salary from the businesses and had his wife get paid his salary so that when he did file for disability, it would look like he was unemployed. So yeah, he is a bit scammy and scummy. Well, Rhinestone girl, you have to remember that so the garage is kind of set apart from the house, and I think that the master bedroom was all the way on the other side. This is 2 a.m. in the morning, and the exterior walls look like they're cement, solid cement, or as solid as cement can be, I guess. So if he was out towards the very end of the house on the far end of the other side of the house away from the bedrooms, it could be very possible that they didn't hear him. And you've got to think that Paul knows his brother, so he might know if his brother is a really heavy sleeper. He maybe knows his schedule when he goes down to sleep, when the kids do, when it's a likely time that they will all be in bed. So that could be the other thing too, is that because he knows them, he knows their schedule, and he knows the likely time when they would all be, sound asleep in their bed, and he could maybe be a little more noisy. It does seem really loud, but we're also right next to a garage, and the garage door, or we're in the garage, and that garage door probably doesn't have soundproofing insulation. So it all sounds so much louder to us because we're right next to it. If you're, 100 feet away through a couple walls, are you going to hear this? Probably not. But it does sound like he's making all the flippin' flapjack noise. I was wondering. Okay, so I don't know where these little dots of light, but the light is definitely moving. Now, I don't think it is Keith coming downstairs. So is Paul on the other side moving around? I don't know. It seems kind of noticeable if you have a flashlight moving around, but this is so like my biggest fear is that there is someone hiding in my house and I am unaware. So the fact that his creepy, disgusting behind is in their garage, of all the times where you think, gosh, I wish that this family just had a whole pack of rabid German shepherds. Oh my Bob Ross, I wonder if he wasn't aware of the other camera. So we are going to get dead ass pictures of Paul because there were two different cameras, if you remember. Here's what I don't get. I don't get why you don't stop here. Like, look, you're already caught dead to rights, okay? But at this point, you are fully breaking into your brother's home. I mean, you fully know that you intend to leave this house with no one else alive. It just, I don't get it. I have never been that motivated by money. I mean, I like, having enough to pay my bills and sure, some fun stuff, but I I have no understand it does not compute in my head to unalive everyone over money.
Can you pause it, please? Lieutenant, what did we just see? What appeared?
The silhouette of the subject walks from the right side of the screen over to the left side of the screen.
Continue, please.
And actually, they found two other security cameras that were very near where both the electric and generator were located at Keith's house. And basically, Paul is semi on camera disabling those, and we can hear him wandering into the garage, coming out of the garage, and see him taking off or basically we hear him fiddling with stuff. So he was caught on camera, though I doubt that we'll see him fully look at the camera, though it would be hysterical to me if they did. Here, say hi. He's like, no.
While the video is still playing, can you tell us what we just saw?
That silhouette walks from the left side to the right side.
Now, this is going to capture right up to the time that the power was cut off. I'm having the same feeling I always have at the end of Seven. Now, why Seven is one of my favorite movies. My therapist, I'm sure we'll all have to get together. But I always, think like, don't Brad Pitt, don't do it. Don't become like this guy. And I find myself looking at 2:49:03 and thinking, okay, don't go to 3 a.m. because we know around 3 a.m. is when the power cuts off and this entire night of evil, kicks off. So he basically had 16 minutes to set things up, to wander around.
Did that video end at 2:59?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Now, did your investigation reveal anything about the loss of power to 15 Willowbrook Road?
It did.
What was that?
As I mentioned before, those cameras, the Vice cams went offline at the same time in 251. Additionally, there was a Verizon reported that the loss of power at 252. There was also 2 additional cameras inside the residence that went offline at the same time, 252.
Now, during the course of your investigation, did you request anything from Verizon?
I did.
And what was that?
I requested any information they had referenced the optical network terminal for the Verizon connection to the house.
And did you receive anything back?
I did.
What was that?
It was a printout that indicated, the initial response that I got indicated that the loss of optical, the ONT went offline at 3:42 a.m.
Now, after that, did you follow up and request any additional information?
I did. Based on that response, I made contact with Verizon to indicate how they deducted that the ONT went offline at 3:42. They said based off that, they provided additional